All right, diving in today, folks, we're going deep on something pretty essential, I think we can all agree, and that is fitness.
Fitness, yeah.
And I know, out there listening, you might be someone who, I don't know, practically lives at the gym, right? Or maybe you're thinking, okay, I really need to get started. I need to dust off those running shoes.
Yeah.
Wherever you fall on that spectrum, beginner, seasoned pro, somewhere in between, this deep dive, really, we built it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our goal is to give you that core knowledge to really understand fitness, what it's all about, and hopefully, spark that motivation to take that next step.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever that looks like for you.
And I think it's really important to emphasize that fitness, it's not just about like how we look, right?
Right.
It's so much more than that.
It is so much more.
It really is a fundamental part of like living a healthy and a vibrant life.
Mm-hmm.
And it impacts so many things, from your energy levels to your long-term health, how long you live, all that.
Absolutely. It's not about squeezing into a certain size or anything like that. We're talking about like building the kind of strength that makes everyday stuff feel easier. Having the flexibility to move without feeling stiff and creaky. And developing the endurance to really like get out there and experience life to the fullest.
Right, exactly.
So let's get into it. Let's break down some of the basics.
Yeah, let's build a good foundation, starting with some of those key terms that we use all the time in the fitness world. Think of it like your fitness vocab,
Okay, I like it, yeah. So first up, let's talk about cardiovascular exercise, or as most people probably just know it, cardio.
Cardio, yeah.
What exactly are we talking about when we say cardio?
Well, really, it's any activity that gets your heart rate up. It makes you breathe harder, right?
Right.
So things like running, cycling, swimming, even dancing.
Yeah, if it gets you a little out of breath, you're probably doing cardio, right?
You're in a cardio zone.
So what's the payoff then for making cardio part of your routine? Like, why is it so important?
Well, there are a lot of really great benefits.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it's fantastic for your heart.
Yeah.
Really strengthens that heart muscle, helps it pump blood more efficiently.
So it's like a workout for your heart, basically.
Exactly. And over time, you'll actually probably notice your resting heart rate going down, which is a great sign.
Okay.
And it helps you build endurance too, so you can be active for longer without getting tired so quickly. And of course, it burns calories, which is helpful if you're trying to manage your weight.
Makes sense. All right. So next up on the list, we've got strength training. This one sounds a little bit more, I don't know, targeted.
Yeah, it is.
Than just like general cardio.
Yeah, strength training is all about using resistance, whether it's from weights, resistance bands, or even just your own body weight to build muscle.
Okay.
So, things like squats, push-ups, lifting weights, that's all strength training.
Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about building muscle, we're not just talking about like aesthetics here.
Right, exactly.
Like, why is that important for our overall fitness?
So it's not just about looks, although it can definitely change how you look, but it's really about building that muscle tissue. And muscle is really interesting because it's metabolically active.
Okay.
Which means the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn, even when you're not doing anything.
Ah, interesting.
So it's like a little boost to your metabolism. And it also helps strengthen your bones, which is super important as we get older. Helps prevent things like osteoporosis.
Right. So many benefits there. What about flexibility then? I feel like this one, I always think of it as like, oh, you do your stretches after a workout, but it's more than that, right?
It is. Flexibility is really about how well your muscles and joints can move through their full range of motion.
Okay.
Like, can you bend down and touch your toes without feeling like you're going to pull something?
Right.
Things like yoga and Pilates, those are really great for improving flexibility.
And what are some of the benefits of having good flexibility?
Well, it can really lower your risk of getting injured because your body can move more freely. It can also improve your posture and just make everyday movements easier, like reaching for something or bending down.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So last but not least on our key terms list, we have endurance.
Endurance. Yeah.
We touched on this a little bit with cardio, but what exactly does that mean when we're talking about fitness?
So endurance is your ability to keep going, to sustain physical activity over a longer period of time.
Okay.
So you want to run a marathon or bike for miles, or
Hmm.
even just like hike up a hill without feeling totally wiped out.
Yeah,
That's endurance.
that's endurance.
It's about building that stamina so you
Yeah,
don't
no.
hit that wall of fatigue too quickly.
Got it. So we've kind of laid out those foundational pieces there, the basic terms, the vocab.
Right.
But now I want to take a step back and really dig into why fitness is so important. And you mentioned earlier, heart health.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a huge one, right? I mean, most people probably know that exercise is good for your heart, but how exactly does that work?
So cardiovascular exercise, what we were just talking about, it challenges your heart, makes it work harder,
Okay.
and that strengthens the heart muscle.
Okay.
Over time, it gets more efficient at pumping blood. Just like any other muscle in your body, the more you work it, the stronger it gets.
Right, so it's like a workout for your heart.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
A stronger heart can pump more blood with each beat, so your blood pressure is lower, and that reduces your risk of heart disease and stroke.
That's huge. What about weight management then? That's often a big motivator for people getting into fitness, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, being active burns calories, right?
Right.
And when you exercise regularly, you're helping to create this balance between the energy you take in through food and the energy your body uses.
Okay.
So that balance is really key for maintaining a healthy weight.
Right. And it's not just about the calories you burn during the workout itself, right? It has a more kind of lasting effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Building muscle,
Hmm.
like we talk about with strength training, actually helps increase your metabolism.
Okay.
So you burn more calories even when you're not working out,
Wow, that's a nice bonus.
right? It's like having a more efficient engine that's just like constantly using up energy.
Okay, I like that analogy. Now, let's talk about something that people might not immediately think of when they think of fitness, which is mental health.
Yeah, mental health is huge.
Hmm.
And it's becoming more and more recognized as a really key benefit of exercise.
Okay.
So when you exercise, your body releases these things called endorphins.
Yeah, those are the feel-good chemicals.
Exactly. Those are the feel-good chemicals.
Okay.
They boost your mood. They act as natural painkillers.
So that's what people mean when they talk about a runner's high.
Exactly. Yeah, that runner's high.
Okay.
And regular exercise can really help with stress and anxiety.
Mm.
It's been shown to be just as effective as antidepressants for some people, especially if it's combined with therapy.
Wow, that's amazing. What about kind of our physical structure, our bones, our muscles? How does fitness impact that?
So exercise plays a really crucial role in keeping our bones and muscles strong and healthy.
Okay.
Weight-bearing exercises like walking, running, especially strength training, they help build both muscle and bone density.
Okay.
And that's so important for preventing osteoporosis as we age.
Right.
It helps with balance, mobility, just overall physical function.
Makes sense. And then finally, you mentioned improved sleep.
Sleep. Oh, yeah.
And I know, I personally sleep so much better when I've gotten some exercise that day.
Yeah, that's a very common experience.
Okay.
And research backs it up. When you're physically active, you tend to fall asleep more easily.
Okay.
You sleep more soundly.
Yeah.
And the overall quality of your sleep is better.
Yeah.
And good sleep, we know, is so important for everything, right?
Everything, yeah.
Recovery, energy levels, even your mood.
It really is. So, I mean, the positive impact of fitness goes way beyond, just the physical. It's really impacting so many areas of our lives.
It really does, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a good understanding of why fitness is important, but now let's get into the specifics. We touched on the different types of exercise earlier, but I want to, really break them down.
Yeah, let's do.
So we have a clearer picture of, what each one involves, what it does for us. Let's start with a deeper dive into cardiovascular exercise. Cardio.
All right, so cardio, it's all about getting that heart rate up and keeping it there for a while, right?
Yeah.
The focus here is on your heart and your blood vessels, burning calories and building stamina. And a good rule of thumb is to aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio every week.
Okay, so what would be some examples of moderate intensity?
So think of activities where you can still hold a conversation, but you're breathing noticeably harder.
Okay.
So like a brisk walk, a casual bike ride. Or if you're up for more of a challenge, you could do about 75 minutes of high-intensity cardio per week, like running, intense aerobics, or swimming laps.
Okay, so you can adjust the intensity and the time based on, what you're feeling up to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, strength training. We know it builds muscle, but what are some other benefits we should keep in mind?
So yeah, building muscle is the main goal, but remember that also helps you burn more calories even when you're resting.
Right.
It's good for your bones, makes everyday stuff easier to do, and like you said before, strong muscles around your joints can really help prevent injuries.
So it's not all about like heavy lifting at the gym then.
Right, not at all.
Yeah.
You can do strength training with just your own body weight, push-ups, squats, lunges,
Okay.
planks, all that good stuff.
Sure.
Resistance bands are great too. And of course, if you have access to a gym, you can use weights and machines.
Got it. Lots of options.
Yeah.
All right. What about flexibility and balance exercises? Those are important too, right?
Yeah, they often get overlooked, but they're really important.
Okay.
So flexibility exercises like stretching, yoga, they help improve your range of motion.
Okay.
They reduce stiffness and make you move more smoothly.
Got it.
And balance exercises like standing on one leg or doing Tai Chi,
Yeah.
they're super important for preventing falls, especially as we get older.
So it's not just about like how far you can stretch, it's about being stable and coordinated too.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all connected.
All right, what about HIIT? High intensity interval training? That sounds pretty intense.
It is. It is. It's all about short bursts of really intense activity,
Okay.
followed by short rest periods.
Got it.
So like you might sprint all out for 30 seconds, then walk for 30 seconds and just keep repeating that.
And why is that so effective?
Well, it burns a ton of calories. It's great for your heart. It builds endurance, and you can do it in a short amount of time.
Okay.
Like 20, 30 minutes, you can get a really good workout.
So it's good for busy people.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, what about when you need something a little gentler on your body?
Right, so that's where low-impact exercises come in.
Okay.
These are good for beginners, people with joint pain, or anyone recovering from an injury.
Okay.
Things like walking, swimming, cycling.
Yeah, you can still get a good workout without pounding on your joints too much.
Exactly, exactly.
Got it. What about functional training? I've been hearing that term a lot lately.
Yeah, functional training is all about exercises that mimic the movements you do in everyday life.
Oh,
So it's like training for real life.
I see.
Things like lifting groceries, squatting down to pick something up, bending, twisting.
Okay.
Exercises like kettlebell swings, lunges, deadlifts,
Okay.
medicine ball throws. Those are all functional exercises.
So it's about being able to move your body effectively in everyday situations.
Exactly. Yeah, so you're stronger and more coordinated for all those things you do every day.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and then we have mind-body exercises. What are those all about?
So these are exercises that focus on the connection between your mind and your body.
Okay.
Things like yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, they all fall under this umbrella.
Okay.
So yoga, for instance, it combines physical poses with breathing techniques.
Right.
It helps with strength, flexibility, balance, posture, and it's really good for reducing stress.
So it's not just about the physical, it's about the mental benefits too.
Right. Yeah, it's a holistic approach.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've covered a lot of different types of exercise here. What's the key takeaway for someone who might be feeling a little overwhelmed by all the choices?
I think the most important thing is to find activities that you genuinely enjoy, right? And that fit into your life. Consistency is key. You're not going to see results if you're not doing it regularly.
Yeah, it has to be sustainable.
Exactly. It has to be something you can stick with.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want a mix of cardio, strength training, flexibility, and balance.
Okay.
But the best routine is one that you will actually do, and it meets your specific needs.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so we understand the why behind fitness. We've got a good grasp of the different types of exercise. Now, how do we actually put this all together? Let's talk about creating a fitness routine. Where should someone even start?
All right, the first step, and this is crucial, is setting goals.
Goals. Okay.
Yeah, you need to know what you're aiming for, right?
Right.
What do you want to achieve through fitness? Do you want to lose weight, build muscle, run a marathon, just feel healthier overall?
Yeah.
Once you know your goals, that gives you direction, gives you something to work towards.
Right. It's like a roadmap.
Exactly. Yeah, a fitness roadmap. And you mentioned the SMART method earlier.
I did, yes.
That's a really helpful framework for setting goals.
Yeah. Can you remind us what that stands for and why it's so useful?
All right, so SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I want to get in shape, which is kind of vague, right?
Yeah.
A SMART goal would be something like, I want to be able to run a 5K in 3 months by training 3 times a week.
Okay.
So that's specific. You know exactly what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
It's measurable. You can track your progress.
Right.
It's achievable. You're not setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
It's relevant to your overall fitness goal.
Right.
And it's time-bound. You have a deadline.
So it's not just this like amorphous idea. It's something concrete that you can work towards.
Exactly, yeah. It makes it much more actionable.
Okay, so you've defined your SMART goals. What's next?
So the next thing is to make sure your routine is balanced.
Balanced. Okay.
Yeah, remember, different types of exercise offer different benefits.
Right.
So you want to incorporate cardio for your heart, strength training for your muscles,
Okay.
flexibility and balance to keep you moving well.
Got it.
This kind of holistic approach makes you less prone to injury, keeps things interesting, and ensures you're developing all aspects of fitness.
So you shouldn't just like focus on one thing that you really like and ignore everything else.
It's fine to have favorites,
Uh-huh.
but you want to make sure you're not neglecting other areas.
Yeah.
It's like a balanced diet for your body.
I like that. A balanced fitness diet. All right, so how often should someone be exercising, especially when they're just starting out?
So for beginners, I recommend starting with 2 or 3 days a week.
Okay.
Keep the session shorter at first and gradually increase the time and intensity.
Got it.
More experienced folks might aim for 4 or 5 days a week, but no matter how often you're working out, rest and recovery are super important.
Oh, okay. So you're saying you don't need to be going hard every single day.
No, not at all. Rest is when your muscles actually repair and rebuild.
Nice.
If you don't give your body a break, you could actually hinder your progress and increase your risk of injury.
Right. So it's counterproductive to push yourself too hard without any rest.
Exactly. Yeah.
You mentioned a sample weekly plan earlier. Can you walk us through that again?
Yeah. So as an example, you could have cardio on Monday, like a brisk walk or a bike ride.
Huh.
Tuesday could be upper body strength training.
Okay.
Wednesday, maybe a rest day or some light activity like yoga. Thursday, another cardio day, maybe with some intervals.
That's okay.
Friday, lower body strength training.
Okay.
Saturday, focus on flexibility and balance, so maybe a longer yoga or Pilates session.
Yeah.
And Sunday, a full rest day.
Okay.
Of course, this is just an example. You
Right.
can adjust it based on your own preferences and goals.
But it's a good framework to kind of see how you can fit all the different pieces together.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What if someone's really tired or sore on a day they're supposed to work out? Should they push through it?
No, you always want to listen to your body.
Okay.
If you're feeling exhausted or super sore, take a rest day or do something lighter.
Got it.
Pushing yourself when you're not feeling up to it can lead to injuries.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. A lot of people struggle to find time for exercise. Any tips on how to make it work with a busy schedule?
You know, the good news is you don't need hours and hours at the gym.
Okay, good.
Consistency is more important than the length of each workout. Even 30 minutes, 5 times a week, can make a big difference.
That's doable.
Yeah, and you can even break it up into smaller chunks.
Oh, okay. How does that work?
So maybe you do 15 minutes of walking in the morning
Okay.
and then 15 minutes of strength training later in the day.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
Okay, so you don't need this like huge block of time carved out.
Right. You can be flexible.
Okay, good. What about HIT? Does that come in handy here?
Yeah, HIIT is great for when you're short on time because you get a really intense workout in a shorter period.
Right, we talked about that.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, any other practical tips for sticking to a routine?
Scheduling your workouts in your calendar can really help.
Okay.
Treat them like important appointments.
Yeah.
And you can use a fitness app or a journal to track your progress,
Yeah.
that can be really motivating.
Right, because you can see how far you've come.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, good. And finally, is it okay to change your routine over time?
Absolutely. Your goals might change. You might discover new activities you enjoy. The key is to keep moving and find something you can sustain.
Yeah, make it a part of your life.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, this has been super helpful for understanding how to build a fitness routine that actually works for you.
Yeah.
But let's talk about another piece of the puzzle now, which is nutrition.
Nutrition, yeah.
It's so connected to fitness, right?
Right. You can't out-exercise a bad diet.
That's what they say.
It's true.
Okay.
Nutrition is essential for fueling your workouts,
Okay.
helping your muscles recover, and just for your overall health.
So it's like giving your body the right fuel.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to fuel those workouts.
Okay, what are the key things we should be focusing on nutrition-wise when we're thinking about fitness?
All right, let's start with the macronutrients. Carbs, protein, and fat.
Okay, the big three.
Yeah, these are your main sources of energy and the building blocks for your body.
Okay, so let's break them down. Carbs first. What's their role?
So carbs are your body's preferred energy source, especially when you're working out at a moderate to high intensity. They get broken down into glucose, which is stored as glycogen in your muscles and liver.
Got it.
That glycogen is what fuels your workouts.
So we need carbs to power through.
Yeah, but it's important to choose the right kind of carbs.
Okay, what are the right kinds?
Focus on whole grains, fruits, vegetables.
Okay, the good stuff.
Yeah, those provide sustained energy. And try to limit refined sugars and processed foods. Those can give you quick bursts of energy, but then you crash.
Right, so it's about sustained energy, not just a quick spike.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, what about protein? That's the muscle builder, right?
That's right. Protein is crucial for repairing and rebuilding muscle tissue after exercise.
Okay.
When you work out, especially when you're doing strength training, you're actually creating tiny tears in your muscles.
Oh, wow.
Protein provides the amino acids your body needs to repair those tears and build stronger muscles.
Okay, so it's like the building material for our muscles.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Good sources of protein are lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, tofu, beans, lentils.
So plenty of options.
Yeah, lots of options.
If you're trying to build muscle, you want to make sure you're getting enough protein.
Right, yeah, included in every meal.
Got it. Okay, now for the controversial one. Fat.
Fat, yeah.
There are so many different opinions about dietary fat.
I know it's confusing.
It is.
But healthy fats are actually really important for your overall health and for fitness.
Okay.
They help regulate hormones, which can impact muscle growth and energy levels.
Okay.
They also provide long-lasting energy, especially for lower intensity activities.
Okay.
And they help your body absorb certain vitamins.
So fat is not the enemy?
No, not the enemy.
Okay.
Just choose the right kinds. Unsaturated fats, like those found in avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, fatty fish,
Okay.
those are the good guys. Limit saturated and trans fats, those aren't so good for you.
Got it. So healthy fats are in...
Yeah, healthy fats are your friends.
Okay, good to know. What about hydration? We know it's important, but how does it specifically relate to fitness?
Hydration is crucial both during and after your workouts.
Okay.
Water helps transport nutrients to your muscles, regulate your body temperature, and get rid of waste products.
Okay.
If you're even a little bit dehydrated, it can really impact your performance,
Oh, wow.
and it can slow down your recovery.
I see.
So make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty.
Right. Stay ahead of it.
Yeah, especially before, during, and after workouts.
Got it. What about when you eat in relation to your workouts? Does that matter?
It can, yeah.
Okay.
Eating a balanced meal or snack 1 to 2 hours before your workout can give you the energy you need.
Okay.
And then after your workout, try to eat something with protein and carbs within 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay.
That helps kickstart the recovery process.
So it's about timing it, right?
Yeah, it's about fueling your body at the right times.
And we can't forget about micronutrients, right?
Right, those vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
You don't need huge amounts of them, but they're super important for all sorts of bodily functions that affect your fitness.
Yeah.
Things like bone health, muscle function, energy production.
Got it.
A good, varied diet should give you most of the micronutrients you need.
Okay, so eat your fruits and veggies, everyone.
Yes, fruits and veggies, whole grains, lean proteins.
Okay. Any final thoughts on the nutrition front?
Just a couple of things. Remember that everyone's calorie and nutrient needs are different.
Okay.
It depends on your goals, your activity level, your body type.
Oof.
If you're trying to lose weight, you'll probably need to eat fewer calories than you burn.
Okay.
And if you're trying to gain muscle, you might need to eat a bit more, especially protein.
Okay.
And just pay attention to your overall eating habits.
Right.
Eat balanced meals, watch your portion sizes, and try to limit processed foods and sugary drinks.
So it's really about making those healthy choices consistently.
Yeah, it all comes down to that.
All right, so we've covered fueling our body, but what about giving it a chance to rest and recover? Let's talk about that.
Rest and recovery are so important, but they often get overlooked.
Yeah, people get excited about pushing themselves.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
But exercise puts stress on your body. It breaks down muscle tissue.
Okay.
And rest is when your body repairs that damage and gets stronger.
So rest is actually when you get stronger, not during the workout itself.
That's when the magic happens.
Okay, I like that. What are the key ingredients of good rest and recovery?
Well, first and foremost, sleep.
Sleep, yeah.
You got to get enough sleep.
Okay.
Quality sleep is essential for your body to recover and rebuild.
Okay.
During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which helps repair muscles and tissues.
Okay.
Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night.
7 to 9. Got it.
If you don't get enough sleep, your performance will suffer, you're more likely to get injured, and you'll probably feel more tired and grumpy.
Yeah, sleep deprivation is no joke.
It's not. It's not.
Okay, what about active recovery? We touched on that before. How does that fit in?
So active recovery is about doing light activity on your rest days.
Okay.
Things like walking, swimming, easy stretching. It helps increase blood flow to your muscles, which helps flush out waste products and deliver nutrients.
So it's like a gentle way to promote recovery.
Exactly. Yeah. And it can help reduce muscle soreness too.
Okay, so it's not about just sitting on the couch all day.
Right. Keep moving, but keep it gentle.
Got it. And then there are full rest days, right? When you don't do any exercise at all.
Yes. Full rest days are important too.
Why are those so important?
They give your muscles a chance to completely recover.
Okay.
It might feel weird to take a day off, but your muscles actually need that time to rebuild and get stronger.
Okay, so it's part of the process.
It's a crucial part of the process.
Okay, got it. What about the mental and emotional side of recovery?
Yeah, mental rest is important too.
Okay.
If you're constantly pushing yourself physically, you can get mentally burned out.
Right.
Take breaks, do things you enjoy, practice mindfulness or meditation, whatever helps you de-stress.
Okay, so it's about taking care of your whole self.
Exactly, yeah, mind and body.
We talked about nutrition for fueling workouts, but how does it play into recovery?
So that post-workout meal we talked about,
Yeah.
with protein and carbs, that's really important for recovery.
Okay.
Protein helps repair muscles, carbs replenish your energy stores.
Got it.
And of course, staying hydrated is crucial too.
Always important.
Yeah, water helps with